Hello and a warm welcome to everyone joining us today. I'm your host Dalvinder Kaur from lovely Professional University. So let's dive into today's topic global cybersecurity trends and job opportunities for cybersecurity specialization. Before we proceed further, allow me to introduce the experts of the day, Dr. Atul Malhotra, a seasoned cybersecurity practitioner and trainer with over 12 years of experience in the field. His expertise lies in network routing and cybersecurity, where he actively contributes through research and practical training. So now I would like to introduce Mr. Pradipto Chakrabarti also in this webinar. Welcome, Mr. Pradipto. He is a regional director for South Asia at CompTIA, where he leads initiatives to promote globally recognized vendor certifications across India and the region. With over 25 years of experience, he has played a key role in driving awareness about career in IT infrastructure, cybersecurity, data science, and more. Before we proceed further in today's session, I would like to request everyone for any questions you can write in the chat box or in the Q&A box, and same will be there from my side in the end of this webinar. Now I'm going to hand over this session to our experts, Dr. Atul and Mr. Pradipto, and it would be an absolute delight to listen from them. Over to you both.
Thank you, Dalwinder. Thank you so much for the introduction. And I would like to just convey here that specializations today, which we are offering in our curriculum, it is basically a requirement of the industry, which we are trying to inculcate in the curriculum. And bringing in the cybersecurity and blockchain into the ecosystem of the education, it is basically a demand from the industry, which we have realized into the curriculum. And to just extend it further, we are continuously trying to improve it. We are continuously trying to enhance it and deliver it to the students so that they can be upskilled as per the job requirements. So to just make you guys aware about what is required in cybersecurity in today's scenario, we have with us Mr. Pradipto Chakravarti, the regional director from CompTIA, who is going to make you guys aware about the recent cybersecurity trends in the industry, the requirements, and how the blockchain can be a good option for the career. Over to you, Mr. Pradipto.
Thank you very much, Dalvinder and Dr. Malhotra, for the nice introduction. As Dalvinder and Dr. Malhotra mentioned, I am Pradipto and I manage the CompTIA business for South of Asia, including India. And during the end of the presentation, I'll share a bit about what we do in a larger scale. But um, we are one of the largest certification body across the world, vendor neutral certification body. And today, what I'm going to talk about is a bit about cybersecurity and blockchain and what it requires for youngsters like you. You know, obviously, you all are. I'm assuming that most of you are just completed your grade 12 exams and then preparing for the life for the next 4 years of the undergraduation, and how this kind of a domain, cybersecurity and blockchain, will make a huge difference to your career prospects. But before we start, a very, very hearty congratulations to all of you for most of you, I guess, where results are already out, and congratulations for crossing this milestone of grade 12. And I know in our Indian context and in our Indian education system, this is a major milestone, and I'm sure that you burnt a lot of midnight light to actually prepare for the exams and pass the exam. So once again, big congratulations to all of you, and best wishes for whatever vocation that you choose in the forthcoming few months, and start your study for the next milestone of your life. Um, so before I move on, what I'll try to cover in the next 30 odd minutes is trends in global and Indian cybersecurity and blockchain market, some of the opportunities that we see in the cybersecurity domain, some of the key skills required to excel in this domain, and why has CompTIA and LPU, and that's the most important part, is that why has CompTIA and LPU come together join hands to create a very, very curated program. And at this stage, I should say that it's a very unique program which uh, is not there in many universities across the country. It's a very, very unique curated program that we have developed along with LPU, and we have successfully trained uh, 500 odd students, or more than 500 students, over the last 3 to 4 years in this program. And finally, obviously, what you are all here for is, the big question is, what is in it for you if you choose this course or this specialization. But before we go in, I think before we delve into the topic of cybersecurity, I think the most important thing that you need to understand is that this is a very important phase where all of you are joining or decided to go in for a course like a graduation in computer science, looking at a career in technology, because now technology is infused into everything, in every business, in every domain, be it agriculture, be it uh, uh, be it defense, be it retail, be it your marketing. Everywhere, technology is very, very closely infused, and all of that is happening because of the industry investing a lot in digital transformation processes. And when you talk about digital transformation, it's basically a process that include all emerging technologies to change the way people live, to change the way we study, the change the way we work, and change the way we kind of live our life. And I'm sure that um, as 18-year-old, 19-year-old students, and I'm sure that you've gone through this whole, you are the generation which were going through this whole transformation in terms of online, in terms of digital, all kinds of digital incidents that happens on your day life, on every moment. And all of that is possible through this whole process that the industry is doing in terms of digital transformation. I'm not going to step a lot into the details of it, but some of the examples that are very visual to us is how traditional broadcasting is moving into streaming platforms, how traditional banking is moving to electronic banking. And I always give this example that how many vendors, or how many um, people, or how many purchases that you make which are in hard cash today, uh, we are almost all the time we are using UPI or internet banking and stuff like that to basically complete our financial transactions. And then, of course, a little bit more enterprise level, company level applications, such as traditional oil fields to digital oil fields, where almost the entire area from where we dig oil, be it in India or in abroad, organizations are moving into converting that into digital oil field with minimum amount of people and maximum amount of technology. So we've all seen these kind of transformation happening and that is what is happening across the world, where we are seeing that by the next couple of years, digital transformation is going to be a $4 trillion, and the growth in the digital transformation investment that organizations are doing is, on a year on year basis, there's a growth of 16-17%. And we are talking about a global scenario. In some countries like India, we are, the growth rates are much more higher, because we are putting in, because a lot of organizations across the globe are setting up their, they call it global capability centers in India, where they require huge amount of people from the universities who can join their global capability centers, or the GCCs, which are fueling the growth of digital transformation projects and processes that are happening. While all of this is amazing, and this is one slide which talks about why we are investing in digital transformation. It's basically all about improving customer experience, streamlining business processes. How do you utilize technology, and how do you simplify IT services using a lot of analytics? So that's the whole basis. But everything is not as rosy as it seems like, because every transformation process has its own challenge. And the biggest challenge that today we are facing in terms of implementing digital transformation is cybersecurity. And as you know that today what we are doing, if you talk about from a individual standpoint, we are using so much of digital technology. We are using our UPI, we are using our payment gateways, we are using QR code based solutions. To find out about anything, we are just using our camera and scanning a QR code, going into that website. So what we are doing inadvertently is that we are opening up a lot of our um, devices to the outside world, and that I think is a big challenge. And that is what you see on a day to day basis. That from a consumer standpoint, you have so many examples, and I'm sure that you know you or anybody would have got those spam emails or the spam calls, or those or somebody has gone through the breaches in terms of people getting into your bank account or your UPI and stealing money and so on and so forth. So that's one part, which is the consumer area, where people like you and I get affected by it. But there is also a bigger play in this whole thing, where large enterprises go through a lot of those breaches. For example, to as an enterprise organization where we work, or as for example Dr. Malhotra or Dalvinder, when they are making their lives easier doing their jobs, what they are doing is that they are implementing, they are using a lot of applications or digital processes which might not be approved by the IT department uh, of their organization, and many times that we term as shadow IT. And that is what happens, is where that those are not secured, those are not implemented in terms of security controls and so on, and that becomes a threat. So by and large, cybersecurity then becomes the biggest impending factor for putting in all of this digital transformation. And that is why both of these, digital transformation, development in the digital transformation world, and the cybersecurity, are going hand in hand as we speak in today. The other thing that I wanted to talk, is also the meaning of cybersecurity as it stands with a lot of people, and I think most people think that cybersecurity is all about hacking, because that is what is what we see about, and that is what we feel about. As a youngster, I think you get very excited with the word hacking. And trying to kind of get into something, and as a human we always have a tendency of being a voyeur, or being somebody who is seeing something from outside, uh, which is forbidden, and that is what attracts. But in a reality, is actually not like that. Reality, it's all about protection of electronic assets, understanding how malicious actors use these resources to attack information, and then making sure that the hackers, the people with bad intention, or intention of stealing, or intention of malicious activity, they are not able to gain access to your information or your organization's information. And in essence, security is all about that. And the reason we call it cyber security today is basically because of the fact that almost all electronic devices, that includes your wearables, say for example your smartphone obviously is there, but your wearable electronic device like your smartwatch, or even your home devices like your refrigerator or your fans, or your or many of you use Alexa, your television, so on and so forth, all of that, your air conditioners. So all of that, because they are all connected device through this whole technology called Internet of Things, or IoT. So, and then with the artificial intelligence coming in, there is a lot of predictability that is happening. So we are living in a world where we cannot kind of live without this, and there is a threat where, because we are opening up our entire information to the outside world. I'm not saying that there is no security. There is security, and that is what you're going to do as an as a professional, think of it, what you're going to do is secure the organization, secure the consumers. So basically there are five things that you do. One is implement proactive security solutions. You understand cloud based workflow. There is a new theory in security which has come in, which is called zero trust, which means that within an enterprise you are not trusting anyone, and therefore everything from a signature based detection, you're moving into a more controlled environment when you're not trusting anybody with it's like on demand. It's like need to know basis that you're providing access to data and applications. A lot of metrics and analytics which comes into picture, data analytics, and then obviously improve the threat understanding and prediction of the organization. And that is where the research that we have done, and we have asked hundreds and thousands of security and IT professionals across the world, IT leaders across the world. There are four key things that you do: you protect, you manage the risk, you minimize the disruption, and then obviously you follow through with the compliance, because security is also a very deeply compliant. There are a lot of rules and regulations under which you have to do because your organizations are trusting consumer data. So obviously there need to be a lot of control in terms of compliance and compliant to handle those consumer data. So basically, if you look back, it's all about protection, it's all about defense rather than only attack. In today's cybersecurity world, it is all about people who have skills of defensive security and skills of offensive security as well. And some of the types of cybersecurity is what you're seeing here on the screen here. We have critical infrastructure, which is like uh, something that has got national impact, for example, defense, or for example, food and grocery supply, or energy, or education and research, water, etc. So all of that is critical infrastructure. And as you know that everything is your meters at your homes are now digital, and people can switch on, switch off your meters and your connectivity. Gone are the days when there used to be if you don't pay your bill, somebody comes and manually cuts your or removes your wires. From there, you have moved into a complete digital environment where they can, from the substation, they can just select one particular house and disrupt the electricity. That's what we talk about critical infrastructure. We have network security, which is basically you are all connected through wired network or wireless network, and that is what you secure. Endpoint, that is very important, because like I said in my earlier slide, that almost all devices has become connected right now through IoT. So endpoint security, we are developing a lot of application security, cloud computing, how to secure cloud when you put in your data from a legacy system to a cloud system. Mobile device security, we've already talked about IoT. And then finally, all of that is actually surrounded by the new thought within cyber, which is we call a zero trust architecture. So all of this put together, you're creating a IT architecture which basically relies on the fact that I don't trust anyone with specific information, and it is all need to know basis. The second part I wanted to, before we jump into the course curriculum, is actually a lot of people confuse blockchain with only Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just one application of blockchain. So when you look at it, blockchain is way, way more than just cryptocurrency. In fact, I have been more specific and I'm just talking about Bitcoin, but there are many other cryptocurrencies, but basically it's a technology, you know, enabled process that is used for securing any information, and how an information flows from one node to the other node, basically. So that's what we are talking about, and that is why it is used in digital currencies or cryptocurrencies that we are talking about, smart contracts, financial transactions. So basically, if you look at it, blockchain is an application of cybersecurity. So you need to understand cybersecurity, how to encrypt data moving from one place to the other, and then that is applicable in the field of blockchain, to make life much more much more secure. So smart contracts, for example, uh, I'm getting into a contract with a third party. How do you know that that contract is not misused, or that contract is not changed or something? So this whole technology of blockchain will enable people to get to know if there is any change in any of those pieces of information that you're talking about. So huge application in financial areas, huge application in retail, reduction of fraud in financial areas, record keeping, like what we talk about, the Aadhaar and so on. So huge application in multiple areas. And that is what I have showed here, but then obviously there are much more than that. And because of those applications that we are looking at, we are already at about $40 billion global market in blockchain, and we are growing at a huge rate of 67% year on year. Um, and that is why, when you go into the whole point and talk business leaders, as how concerned, the question that PwC asked is that how concerned are you about the global threats? So it's astonishing to know that most of the CEOs across the world have rated cyber risk as the highest risk to their business, even more than geopolitical conflict. We just came out of a near conflict situation, macroeconomic volatility. All of that is basically lesser in terms of importance to the CEOs than cybersecurity, and that is the reason why. The industry is hankering, and industry is looking forward for highly skilled people. 77% of our organizations across the country, and this is India data, is that saying that they have gaps in security skills. And that is the reason in India specifically, year on year, there is a huge growth in open positions. There are not enough certified and trained people who can fulfill those job roles. So close to about 8 lakh people that are required. I'm not saying that all of that job role are for entry level people, but then I'm sure that this number will be double or triple over the next 4 years when you graduate out from the university. And that is what we are looking at, in terms of um, the absolute number of open positions. And like I said, not all of these are for freshers, but I would, in my interactions with the industry, at least about 60% of these job roles are for freshers who are skilled to do basic fundamentals. The fundamentals are clear, and that is what we try to achieve out of the course that we have designed already. Similarly, another statistics point here which says that specifically in India, and this is the Microsoft data which says that specifically for India, the way, post pandemic, the way organizations have, kind of, they are deciding to go for, to close the skill gap is additional hiring additional security professional, and most of them would come from universities like LPU and others who are running such kind of programs. And that is why we sat down with the LPU team, with Dr. Malhotra and his team, and created this program, which I'm going to talk about later on. Some of the job roles that we are looking at, uh, is DevSecOps engineers, people who are basically, there is a lot of now interdependency between software developers and security, and that is why software developers need to know a lot about security, and there is an element of application development in security as well. Analysts, IoT security engineers, compliance, I spoke about compliance, privacy. We are talking a lot. We, as you know, that we are faced with a big challenge of our contact details bit is out in the market, and I think all of you know that on a day-to-day basis we receive at least 4 or 5 spam calls. uh, how do we reduce that, technically as well as operationally? Penetration testing, cybersecurity analyst, so on and so forth. There are many job roles that are available, attractive job role with attractive salary packages which are available. on this, and it is also kind of constantly growing. Currently what we talk about is that the highest number of job roles that people require: a network security analyst, penetration tester, cyber security analyst. Those are the kind of job role that people look for. So basically, what are the kind of skills that you need to you know inculcate as a cybersecurity professional? I think some of the core skills or competencies that you require is, and I always joke that you are basically the goalkeeper of the organization, and to understand the goalkeeper, I think the best goalkeeper is one who understands the entire, or has a mental map of the entire opposition team, their players, their or and also their own size of their goal post, and that is all about the core skills that we are talking about, the operating systems, and not only Windows, but overall there is a lot of dependence on organization moving towards open source Linux, Android. A lot of organizations use devices which are on iOS. So basically, you need to know all kinds of operating system and how to administer those operating system. Next, most important is networking and cloud. A very deep knowledge of how networking works, how wired and wireless networking works, how cloud computing works, what are the big challenges that comes in cloud computing, and what are the kind of controls that you need to do when you're putting in your information or your data on cloud. And today, without that, you cannot live. And then obviously some amount of programming is also required, specifically the new age programming language such as Python, etc. And then of course, from a domain standpoint, I already spoke about the kind of skills that are required in cybersecurity, in terms of both from an attack and a defense perspective, and obviously a bit of blockchain architecture. I think if you have these kind of core skills and fundamental domain skills, I think you will be a great resource. And that is what comes into our thought when came into our thought when we started sitting with the LPU team and developing this specialized course. So big question that comes from student is that why is it there a need to do a specialization honors than a conventional BTech? Look, the answer to that is very simple, that gone are the days when organizations used to come to campuses, hire students en masse, put them through an internal incubation, which many of those entry level people used to call as honeymoon period, where they go and take a lot of training for 3 months, 6 months, then they are put on bench, they shadow existing resources. There is a lot of learning scope that the organizations used to put, and they used to put in a lot of money in training up those people. But nowadays, that is gone. Organizations like TCS, or even GCCs like Microsoft and others, research and development centers, they are looking for people who are ready to perform. We call it 0 day deployment, when they're ready to perform from day one. The second part is, the universities are amazing in terms of creating curriculum that are fundamental. However, how do you that incubation training that I was talking about, to bring it to the college, so that parallelly, along with your fundamental knowledge, you get that little bit of edge, and hands-on experience, is something that that's the partnership between us and LPU comes in picture, where we put in that additional delta amount of knowledge and body of knowledge, so that you are prepared from day one. And that is what we are seeing in the current batch. I'll come to it later on also. And that is why we developed this course called BTech Honors in Cybersecurity and Blockchain, in tie-up with CompTIA. So some of our subject matter experts and some of LPU professors like Dr. Atul Malhotra sat down together and created and curated this whole uh, courses. And what you get is basically, from our side, we are one of the world's largest developer vendor neutral certifications. And these certifications are assessment that, or exams, or, I should say assessment, which are accepted. Once you get that certificate, you are accepted by the industry as a standardized it's a standardized measure of skill. You get industry relevant training and certification. We try to bring the industry outlook, so we do a lot of workshops, we do a lot of hackathons, we do a lot of interesting things with the student, at least those who are enrolled with the CompTIA LPU course, the BTech in cybersecurity and blockchain course. We do a lot of, I think, every semester we have 2 or 3 webinars from global subject matter experts. We have we have a working professional who flies down to LPU and does 2 days, 1 day, 2 day workshops, gives you something additional to even what we are providing. So there's a lot of practical and hands-on and industry immersible uh, training. We follow the industrial in the international standard of pedagogy, and then so what you get at the end is that you become a field leader in the field of cybersecurity. This is definitely the fastest growing career option today. You learn cybersecurity end to end, using some of the CompTIA's certification content. You gather hands-on and performance-based competence. You get opportunity to be employed with leading organizations globally, and then also at the end, along with the degree, you also get 4 globally recognized certifications from CompTIA. So basically, and then of course, along with CompTIA, our partner QuickHeal, they have a couple of other certifications. Many of you have heard about QuickHeal um, as a leading cybersecurity product company in India. So we've also partnered with them. So 3 of us, QuickHeal, CompTIA, and LPU, we get together to basically provide this entire curated program, right from blockchain architecture to security operations center to vulnerability assessment and pen testing, cloud virtualization, foundation of infrastructure. Like I said, right from the foundation all the way to an intermediate level certification that will help you prove your worth within the industry. So you get a lot of benefit out of it. And that leads to the question as that why have we partnered, and LPU chose CompTIA because we are obviously one of the largest certification bodies. Till date we have certified more than 35 lakh uh, people across the world who have got CompTIA certified. Uh, we have served more than 1 million, more than 100 million people, about 1 crore people across the world who have taken training, might not have taken the certification internally, but have taken training on our content. And definitely we are number one vendor neutral certifying body. I think we are number two in overall certifications, present in more than 230 countries, and has got a lot of options for people who want to learn. And this is what our pathway looks like. These are our certifications, and obviously within, I just showed in the earlier slide, is that once you choose this course, you get 4 of these certifications. You get Network Plus, Security Plus, CISA Plus, and Pentest Plus. But on the other hand, you also study other certifications. You might not go for the certification like Linux, like cloud, like A plus, which is basically system administration. So we teach 6 programs, and 4 certifications are included within that course. And this is what I have already spoken about. Apologies for the repetition, but one thing extra here is obviously interdisciplinary. And I spoke to you about that interdisciplinary part, which means that it is not only cybersecurity, but all the allied body of knowledge which also require for cybersecurity is covered in this program. And I always tell that this program is, we all talk about Industry 4.0 today, which means that the industry has moved towards a next dimension of industrial revolution. And our program that we have developed in conjunction with LPU is actually mapped or preparing you for that Industry 4.0. And finally, what is in it for you? I will take another just a couple of minutes to share, and we've already spoken about it. You can Google, find out the kind of prospect that are there in cybersecurity area. There is a huge amount of demand which I have already spoken about, and this is what you will fulfill. And that is the reason why we have partnered with LPU to really create this curated program. And what we are looking here is that within cybersecurity, job openings grew by 6%, and that's a big number. Job searches increased by about 30%, and we are seeing a very healthy kind of a median salary that a cybersecurity professional with certification, and this is just a median figure that I'm giving, is somewhere around 8 to 9 lakhs per annum. But this is just medium. There are students who are also getting much more higher pay. But obviously all of that will change by the time you come. What we're talking about it, what it is today, but by the time you all graduate after 4 years, we are talking about 2029. The dynamics will be even more attractive for you to select the kind of jobs within cybersecurity, and this is what we're looking about. And if you look at some of the organizations which are hiring, you will see that it is not only IT companies. In the past, it was only an aspiration to get into IT company, but today you have financial services companies like Wells Fargo, Mastercard, big fours like Ernst and Young, Deloitte, etc., product companies like HP, Dell, software, Microsoft, McAfee, of course, those are there. The services companies like Accenture. So you have a wide variety of organizations to play with, and that points to my first opening statement that you are in a very apt time that you are getting into computer science, and more importantly in cybersecurity, because everything, all organization, they cannot live without IT workforce, and that is what we're looking at. And these are screenshot. These are actual people of your seniors. If you choose these courses, many of them are of course have gone through the entire certification pathway. Some of them are in the final year, some of them have passed, and almost all of them have got extremely good internship opportunities and also job opportunities after doing all of this, after doing this particular course along with companies. This is just a very small group of people who are connected with me on LinkedIn, and I follow them, and I follow because they are our earliest students of Dr. Atul Malhotra and the team and CompTIA's curriculum. Students who want to also pursue postgrad abroad, there is an amazing opportunities. Who people who go through CompTIA certifications, you get credit waivers in some of the very well-known universities in cybersecurity. For example, University of Maryland, Purdue, etc. They have amazing credit waivers for students, and some of these students that we're talking about have moved, done certification here from various different universities, and moved to do go ahead and do their post graduation abroad. So with that, I'll end my session today. The easiest way to connect with me is on LinkedIn. Just search me on LinkedIn, and you can ask me any question that comes into your mind regarding careers in cybersecurity or overall careers within IT, because that is my specialization area in terms of counseling learners, students to develop their code, develop their curriculum, develop their life and their careers within technology, and specifically within cybersecurity. So thank you very much. I hope I'm not too over the time, and I'll hand it over to Daljit and Dr. Atul Malhotra and the students, prospective students who have any questions that we can answer jointly. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pradipto and Dr. Atul Malhotra. Can we take the questions now, Mr. Pradipto
Yeah,
and Ms.
sure.
Dr. Yes, thanks for giving me chance to address your questions. Now let's start with the Radhika is with us. Radhika is asking here, what are the most significant global cybersecurity threats currently shaping industry trends in 2025?
Sir, you will take it, or should I answer?
Okay, so the most critical threats which are coming up, it is on the infrastructure devices and the services. And I mean, it's more of the services primarily. The web services, they are getting compromised. The cloud services, they are getting compromised. I mean, last year I got a communication from one of the companies. whose cloud service got compromised, and he was billed for nearly $70,000 for a single day of use. And that was an MSME, a medium to small scale company, getting an invoice of $70,000 per day. It is a huge amount to pay for a company who is basically for a turnover of around, let's say, around 50 crores. So, I mean, threats, they are evolving every day. And like Mr. Pradipto has covered in his presentation, we don't have just a single sector which is basically contained for the, or which are focused by the cybersecurity threats. Every sector, you talk about healthcare, you talk about banking, you talk about defense, every sector is facing the threats. So it's more or less a kind of a variety of threats which are getting focused, which are getting deployed on the systems, on the services.
Uh, Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you
Yes, yes,
audible.
yes, you're audible.
Yeah, sir. Thank you very much for the overview. From an industry, I think there are two trends that I'm seeing, two or three trends. One is obviously critical infrastructure, information infrastructure. There is a lot of impetus from the government to secure our, and specifically also after the incidents of the last couple of weeks. I think there is a lot of impetus in terms of securing our critical information infrastructure, our airports, our electricity grid, our data centers, and so on and so forth, the government data centers, and so on. So that is one area. The second area is also ransomware. A lot of people, in India, there is a trend of, we don't the security hacks do not really, the breaches do not really come out, but so we have had some really major breaches in the last 1.5 years, AIMS being one of them, Covin being one of them, and all of them where ransomware attacks. And the third one is distributed denial of services, where you basically stop the web service. So all of that trends are really shaping up the kind of and in terms of industry, like what sir said, the biggest threat obviously is the banking and financial services, because there is the because financial resources, money is involved there. And second is your state actors, which is basically your enemy countries attacking the other country and taking over their websites and so on. So I think those are the two big sectors that the government is thinking about in terms, and whatever government thinks about flows down to the industry. And it's not only India. Even if you're looking at an outsourced market, I think the same thing goes across the world.
I hope, Radhika, you got your answer from our today's expert. So thank you so much. Gurpreet is asking, how has the rise of AI and machine learning impacted cybersecurity practices and job roles worldwide?
That's an amazing question. And before Dr. Malhotra is a technical person who can answer it more technically, but let me answer, uh, from a sort of industry observer point of view. The hackers today are utilizing advanced artificial intelligence tools to basically hack. So that is something that we are definitely seeing a lot of usage of AI um, to utilize in terms of attack. And honestly speaking, today, even a novice can become a bad actor, because there are so many AI based tools that are available online for you to exploit. So that is one part. But on the other hand, the industry is also putting in a lot of AI to basically predict the kind of attack that has happened in the past, and observe the attack that have, and build up models of prediction, which makes us also more resilient. So it acts in both the ways. And at the end of the day, I would still say that that we who are on the good side is winning, because although you see that there's a news that there's so much of breach that has happened and so on, but honestly speaking, if you look at the statistics, every 60 second there is a major attack. But what is happening? We are deflecting most of them. What does not get deflected accidentally is something that you see in the media and you see in the news. So to be honest, to be fair, I think we are doing a great job as defenders, and we are using AI. Now, third point that comes here is a third area is what happens to the jobs. Yes, there will be effect on the job market. We are already seeing it. However, what happens with every, and I talked about industry 4.0. So what we have seen in the previous disruptions that has happened, when, for example, in the 1950s and 60s, when computers started coming in, it was a disruption, and people did lose their job. But then, that's a very temporary phenomena, because what really happens is that job roles do not get finished. They just morph into something else. So yes, you would require a certain amount of different skills, and that is the reason in our course and curriculum that we are developing, that we have already developed, our certifications have got elements of AI right from the very beginning, right from semester 3. When you come into the specialized course, you will be exposed to, say, AI, the portion that is in cloud computing, AI in security, and so on and so forth. So, Atul sir, if you have any additional points to add on, please feel free.
Yeah, so when we talk about AI in cybersecurity, we have two things. One is the AI getting used on the offensive side, and second is the AI getting used in the defensive side. So, like Pradipta sir mentioned, I mean, threat actors, they are using AI to just uh, curate a variety of threats, variety of attacks to target different types of systems. And correspondingly, there have been security solutions who are incorporating AI to detect them. I mean, we have seen companies developing solutions which can just analyze the behavior of the systems, the activities getting performed inside the systems based upon the network logs or the system logs, and those logs getting analyzed using the AI engines to just identify that what is the possible threat actor, what is the possible illegitimate behavior or a compromise which is being carried out or which has already been done. So of course, AI is shaping the way cybersecurity is being procured for the organizations and the systems, and correspondingly, it is basically becoming a part of the curriculum also, where students are getting to learn how to use AI in just identifying and you can say mitigate the cyber threats.
Thank you so much, Dr. Atul and Mr. Pradipto. Someone is asking here which regions or countries are seeing the highest demand for cybersecurity professionals and why?
Clearly, China and India in the APAC region. If you look at the ISC2 report, which is a very credible report for and also if you look at the Data Security Council of India report, of course that only covers the India part, but clearly. See, there are two things here. One is the absolute number of how we understand demand is based on, I would rephrase the whole thing, is how we look at the industry is two parameters. One is number of absolute open jobs, and two is the how is the gap widening. Like, for example, today there are an open job of say 10 people, uh, and next year how much grow. So next year when we do the same study, we find out that there are 20 open job positions, right? So which means that there is 100% growth in the open job positions, which means that we are not doing a great job of fulfilling that position internally. So that is one aspect, and the second aspect is, as I said, the absolute number of open jobs. So if you look at the Asia Pacific market, uh, because a lot of IT work is being outsourced here in the Asia Pacific region. China, of course, because of the sheer development that they have done, they require from an absolute term they require a lot more people. But then in India, like I said, I already shared the figure, close to about 8 lakh open jobs. That is one part of it. But what is more scary is that if you look at the if you look at last year's uh, numbers, it was about 700,000, so which means 7 lakhs or something. So within 1 year, the open positions have increased by 1 lakh. Now it is close to 8 lakhs. So the growth in terms of the number of required people, that percentage is highest in India across the world. If you, and that is, that's not what I am saying, but that's what, organizations such as ISC2 is saying, and you can Google their research, you will be able to find it. And that obviously happens because the maximum number of digitalization or digital transformation is also happening in our side of the world. So it is a great time to be actually in the IT industry and the cybersecurity industry in India specifically, but because you will never have a dearth of jobs if you are skilled in cybersecurity.
And adding to it, to what Mr. Pradipto said, I mean, India is a kind of country who has always supported the developing countries, and majority of such countries are taking the cybersecurity solutions from India either directly or indirectly, either in the form of the products or the services. So, I mean, I can surely guarantee that anybody who is skilled enough in the cybersecurity domain is definitely going to get a job inside India. We have that capacity. I mean, the Indian ecosystem, the Indian industry, it has that capacity to accommodate every skilled cybersecurity engineer. So, I mean,
Yes.
getting the jobs here won't be a challenge in any case. And to just bring in a fact, the batch which is just passing out of the BTech Honors Cybersecurity and Blockchain program, all of those students, they are on the internships right now. We don't have a single student in the campus.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Atul Malhotra and Mr. Pradipto. If anyone have any questions regarding the admissions, they just write on us at admissions@lpu.co.in, and you can do WhatsApp chat with us. Our WhatsApp number is 985256900. I'm repeating the number. It's 985256900. I hope all the participants got their answers from our today's experts. Thank you so much once again, Dr. Atul and Mr. Pradipto. As we come to the end of this webinar, I want to express my deepest gratitude to our experts for sharing their valuable insights and expertise with us. Your presence, enthusiasm, and active participation have made this experience truly special. Hopefully, the attendees found this webinar to be valuable and will be able to utilize the information for better decision making regarding admissions. Stay connected with us for future webinars. Until we meet again, with the permission of my seniors, I would be signing off this webinar. Take care and goodbye. Have a beautiful
Thank you.
day.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.